Udayan Mukherjee joins in to chat about the numbers that have come in so far and the way the markets are headed. Udayan, actually there's a decent amount of good news. Global market cheer and excellent numbers over our one-day holiday. TCS, HCL Tech, Bajaj Auto, all of them good numbers. This rally has legs, you think?
Well, it's doing the right thing, Lata, right now in having hit an important target of 6140, 6150, which was the September high, and it's just consolidating for a bit. So I think what happened on Wednesday was pretty much along expected lines. The market attempted a scale of that level and then just reacted from that a little bit. I think you might find similar actions today, the market trying to move up a little bit, then getting to that 6150 zone, broadly speaking, maybe encountering some resistance once again. But you're right in pointing out that some of the initial results have been quite good, expectedly so, and the USD looks like it's going through. So both from a global and local standpoint, I think the makings are there of a takeout of the 6150. Now there are two ways the market can do this. It can dither here for a couple of more days, soak in a few more earnings, just see how the global mood is, and then maybe even react a little bit and then take out 6150, or it could do it in a flurry over the next couple of days and we could have a weekly closing above 6150, which would be extremely bullish for near-term traders. But I think the way the wind is blowing, even if there is some near-term consolidation, you would have to bet on the prospect of 6150 being taken out eventually, even if it can happen even today, being higher than the fact that in the near term, just over the next few days, there will be a meaningful correction in the market.
Udayan, hi, good morning. A good set of numbers coming in from HCL Tech this morning and TCS. We all saw that great performance on Tuesday. But in terms of valuations, how do they stack up now?
I think HCL Tech's numbers are good on the margin front, but not terribly enthused by that dollar volume growth number of, or dollar revenue growth number of 3.4%. Because if you just go back a couple of quarters, HCL Tech was exhibiting industry-leading volume growth, and they have slipped up on that. I know it's too harsh to judge it on the parameter of just one quarterly result. Maybe they'll bounce back next quarter and get to those close to 5% kind of dollar revenue growth. But I think this quarter's top line growth probably has a marginal wrinkle out there. So yes, the stock might start at 1200 kind of levels today. I don't think it'll get anywhere close to an 8-10% rally. It could get 2-3%. But I think the juicier trade, Sonia, now is in trying to map whether Infosys is closing that valuation gap with TCS rather than seeing whether HCL Tech will expand its valuations more immediately on the back of what has happened already for the last 4 to 6 quarters. So I think HCL Tech gets a little bit of a reaction, but the key for the IT pack now is to watch what the leader is doing in terms of valuation expansion. My sense is that if, barring Infosys, which is trying to do a catch-up valuation trade, the rest of the stocks probably get dragged up by TCS if those valuations expand. You've seen the numbers, 5.4% dollar revenue growth. TCS is still the big man in the IT pack, and like lever on ITC and FMCG, if those valuations climb to 24-25 times over the next few days and weeks, then I think it will have a pull-up effect on the entire sector. So the key things to watch are whether TCS is going up significantly and holding higher price levels and valuation levels, and what Infosys is doing in terms of bridging some of that valuation gap. But HCL Tech, beyond 1200 to run away from here, looks like a bit of a stretch to me given what they've done on the top line today.
But TCS significantly, you think, Udayan? I mean, it's already 24 as far as FY14 is concerned. Even as far as FY15 numbers, and I haven't heard too many by way of big EPS upgrades, it's already 21. How much more, how can we use, do you see significant rises in TCS prices?
You know, Lata, I think what we are seeing right now is a lot of money gravitating towards a sector, which is IT. I mean, it is the most crowded trade. And whenever that happens, whenever you see a mini bubble blowing, and we spoke about it a couple of months back, that maybe there is a bit of a valuation bubble which is beginning to or going to build up in IT. I think we are halfway through that. And whenever that happens, you go back into the past, the highest quality stock in the sector leads that valuation bubble. So either you take a call that IT is an overcrowded trade and enough valuation expansion has happened and money starts to switch out. I doubt whether that will happen on the back of the kind of performance we've seen from most of the big boys. And therefore, if this trade is going to attract more money, then that cannot but go to TCS given its recent performance. So I know what you're saying, that this stock has gone up a lot already, it's overowned, it is a very crowded trade, but every sector bubble is led by the leader, the highest quality stock, and in this case it happens to be TCS. So like it or not, if IT is going to attract money, TCS will continue to get a disproportionately large part of it and may continue to expand its valuations. It's a risky trade, no question about that, but I think probably there is some headroom left even there.
We'll come back to the other stocks in a bit again, but before that I just wanted to ask you, for the next trend in this market, how important is the political angle? Because there's now increased chatter about, market men not wanting to be left behind if the BJP comes to power, etc. How important is that cog in the wheel?
Oh, very important. I think there are two things which are paramount, and more than I know, a lot of people were talking about the fact that this is earnings season and earnings will determine what the market will do from here. I disagree a little bit. Earnings will cause some near-term volatility in a few stocks here and there, but I don't think earnings will come as a major surprise. Markets move on surprising things, and I think the two things which are on the margin going to set the tone for this market, not necessarily in that order, is what is going on with the global mood and liquidity, and what's going on with political expectations in India. Because the macro will not improve in a hurry. Earnings will not change their trajectory in a hurry, however much we like them to. But what may change is people's perceptions that we've got an October-December window within which global macro will remain benign, and we'll continue to get this 800 to 1,000 crores of FI inflows every day. And as more and more state elections and polls materialize, the market will get more and more excited about the prospect of BJP stealing a march over the UPA, which it will see as a positive. No judgments out here. That's what the market likes, as you've heard from many participants. So I think on these two factors, the more news flow the market gets, I think it will feed some kind of this momentum that we are seeing building up at this point in time. So keep your eye on these two balls, the global macro and liquidity and the local political expectation, which is what people are feeding on for May next year and to build on a pre-election rally. I think these two are of paramount importance. Of less importance in the near term, though of course of great importance in the medium term, are the macros and the poor earnings growth pictures which we are brushing under the carpet right now.
So, although we got two very ugly inflation numbers, no one cares for now, you think?
As you can see, I mean, you read the ticker tape,
Yes.
Lata, its opinion does not matter. The market's just brushing aside any bad news at this point, and that's because it knows that the triggers are, we've got probably a good global window, and therefore we do not want to or need to fret about, at least that's the market's perception, about FI outflows in the near term. That's mother's milk to this market, as you well know. And then there is this building mood about how the election result might work out in the market's favor, and that, as everybody has been discussing, is the big reset factor or marginal reset factor for the Indian economy.
Right, so that, Udayan, thank you very much for joining us this morning on that positive